Hey there, it's Chris. Welcome back to the Kai Schulin Project. We're having a bit of a special episode coming up today. Although it may not be special for you, it's a little more special for me. This is the final video I'm going to be doing before finally heading off towards the Killington Spartan Ultra that I'm doing this weekend. Now, this may not mean much for you because as this is going to be posted after the race is already complete. I believe this one's going out on Tuesday. But I'll be honest, right now my brain is in a million different places at once. But I do want to get at least one more done here so I can at least, I know I can get something out for next week. Like I said, I believe this is going out on Tuesday, and we're going to see how things go after that, how ready I am to start this up again, how much my body wants to do, how much I have other things to get done. So I'm at least going to get something out next week, and then we're going to go from there. Hopefully I'll get the regular schedule starts up from Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, but if not, I will definitely have one Tuesday through this one, and I'll definitely have one on the Saturday. We'll see on the Thursday if I get things going after that. But yeah, hopefully things go well, and yeah, we're going to go from there. As far as the model is concerned, last time we finally actually started doing some upper body stuff. And in doing so, I was eager to get started upper body. I put a little bit of the cart before the horse. Not much, just a little bit. In order to get the shirt kind of focused on, I'd cut off the ends kind of the arms because the shirt goes around the top of the arm. I would actually like to model out this base part of the arm, maybe not all the way down to the look, but just to get a little bit going. So that if I have the arm size, I can then I know exactly where the shirt's going to wind up on her in the end. And then after that, I can always cut the arms back off. And there'll be a separate session for a separate hardening thing, this, that, and the other, whatever done. So I want to do that. Also, the kind of the turtleneck here, it actually comes up and folds over. It doesn't just go straight up from what I'm looking at the picture on my computer on the side. Is it kind of folds over. It doesn't just go up and in. So we can do a little touch-ups on that. So in fact, I want to get this shirt kind of figured out before I start doing some of the other things like the chest guard, the straps that go around the knife. Gotta get the base part done right first. So let's turn this back around. Boop. And we are going to get ourselves situated and back into a good place. So what I want to do from the start is I would kind of actually like to get some of this upper arm stuff done. One sec. Like I said, my brain is in a million places right now. I forgot. I might like this guy seated over here. Could be useful in the end. Now I'm hopeful this is going to wind up being a good event. We're gonna find out. Thankfully, early in the week, ever since the Pomerton one almost 2 weeks, almost 2 months ago, I kind of re-aggravated the tendonitis, or at least I think it's kind of self-diagnosed tendonitis. Kind of on my upper shoulder. Well, I guess shoulder, not necessarily upper shoulder. And it took better part of a month to kind of heal its way out, but it's one of those kind of almost sort of, you can feel something in the background. It's not really doing anything, but you just kind of know it's there. And finally, earlier this week, all that feeling was gone. It feels 100% good. My arms are feeling good. I've done no upper body work whatsoever leading into this race, which could be problems, but at the same time, the last ultra I did no upper body work whatsoever, and I went the first 31 and a half miles. I only failed one obstacle, and that was a spear throw, which wasn't even a physical obstacle. The spear didn't stick in, it even hit the target, it just didn't stick in the target, which is the worst part. So I'm not super concerned about that end of things. It's just, at the same time that kind of healed itself, I also woke up on Monday morning, and I had this gigantic knot kind of between my shoulder blades in the middle of my back. And that has not gone away yet. And it's been kind of annoying. It's getting better. It was kind of not great this morning. It's Thursday right now. I'm heading up to the venue tomorrow. So that's why this is going to be the last one of these going on today, even though the race itself isn't going on tomorrow. I need some travel time. But yeah, this morning it wasn't great. As the day has gone on, it's been getting better over time. It's not 100%. I don't think it's going to be necessarily 100% by the time the race starts. But for all intents, I can do dead hangs. I can do the pull-ups. I've done kind of some light kind of things with it. It's not, doesn't seem to be affecting anything that might be useful for the race. So I'm tentatively optimistic that it's going to turn into a nothing burger, but at the same time, it's more just, it's one of the annoyances, like, why now? Why would you choose now of all times just to sleep on the sleep weird somehow? You just kind of wake up and it's like, how's that there? What did I do? But it is what it is, so we're just going to deal with it. Otherwise, just hoping for a good day. It should be interesting. Definitely have all those kind of pre-race kind of nerves and all that kind of going through. And I should be talking about the model, but I'm going to be honest. Right now, my brain is not on this model. I'm pretty much going through the motions right now. But brain isn't necessarily 100% on this. I just want to get something done, so I have something at least in the book for next week. Because I don't know how happy I'm going to be to want to do anything immediately after the race. Plus, I want to put together possibly another post-race kind of video thing like I did in the Palmerton one. So we'll see. But if nothing else, I'll get something done, give myself a little bit of a head start. But then, yeah, really, once I'm done with that, once we kind of get over all the pre-race badness, because I'll be honest, on Sunday is going to be travel day coming back, and Monday morning, I'm probably not even going to be able to walk up and down a flight of stairs. This has happened before. Unless you've done one of these types of races, I'm just going to say you have no idea what this actually does to your body. I will, in the morning, have an incredibly difficult time just walking down a flight of stairs. Up's usually not too bad, but I'm going to have a very hard time walking down a flight of stairs. I need to go grocery shopping usually afterwards. That's always a load of fun. And usually kind of by the afternoon-ish, after I kind of warm up a little bit and kind of do things, it starts to kind of melt away and I get a little better. But that's kind of what I'm dealing with. It's going to take pretty much the entire week before I'm really fully back at it again. So I'm not sure. Physically, yes, I can do the modeling stuff here. That's not going to be an issue. But mentally, I may or may not be wanting to do this type of thing for a few days afterwards. So if you've hung on to the video so far to this point, yeah, just be prepared for that. There might be some interruptions in the short term on this. That said, once I do really kind of start up again in full, the race is done. I have no other races planned for the season. So, and I'm officially going to be going into my off-season time. So even if I do want to schedule something, I'm not going to do anything for several months. And I will give myself an off-season. So I won't have this thing kind of hanging over my head taking up time. And realistically, on the gaming side of things, I think I only have maybe like 3 or 4 or 5 missions to go in that. So I'm getting pretty close to the end on the gaming side of this as well. So short term is going to be a little hinky getting some more kind of videos out and doing things right. But once that initial phase passes, yeah, both the race and the game itself they're more or less in the books. And that is going to be a good thing, I believe, going forward. So, or at least towards this project. And once that happens, I'm probably not going to do the full 5 days a week like I did on Bang. I may bump it up to 4 days a week once the game is done. Maybe I'll add Sunday into the mix. I'll do Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, Sunday. Is tentatively kind of what I want to go. And then and I'll kind of do that until the end of this project. And then we'll see where we go when I start the next project after that. I don't know if I want to do episodic like I've been doing on this, because I see that I'm not getting, although I like those of you who are here watching and listening to this right now, but I'm not getting terribly many people to do that. I can see YouTube is very slow at trying to recommend any of my videos, putting things out. So I may go do a little more experiments on that end. Maybe I'll do like a week's worth of work, then like on a Saturday post like maybe an hour-long video or something of what I've done for the week, rather than just have an hour-long session per day for each thing. So we'd be cutting out certain areas, but at the same time you can still see what's going on. I don't know. Haven't really thought of that. That's still kind of down the road on future project. Not this one. This one we will finish out as we're going. I will try to show as much of this as I can that's going on. And we just kind of work with that. But we can see our arms are getting a little better, because this will make it easier if I have an arm out here that I can say, okay, the shirt will just go right to this point. And then I can do that. Then afterwards, like I said, I can cut the arm off. And it will make life a little easier that way. We also kind of want the arms to be in the position they're going to be. Which this arm is much nicer, because I can no longer indent this like I was before. That's why that arm is always kind of flipped up, because I kept indenting the pants and her legs, and I had to keep fixing it. Usually kind of off camera. On camera, I was pretty good about keeping the arm away. Off camera, every now and again, I wouldn't be. So, yeah, fixing that. So I don't need to worry about that part anymore. But no, I'm still super excited for this race. It's in that kind of, the week leading up to a race is always like the worst week in the world. I hate the lead up week, because you have like everything goes through my body. I've already had several times now. I've had like just random shots of adrenaline go through. Like I'm driving down the road and all seeing it like this little drip of adrenaline. And you're like, what are you doing? I find that I'm eating stuff, I feel like nonstop, and I'm instantly hungry afterwards. It's like the body is, I can tell my body is prepping for something. It knows something is coming up. It's taking all the energy, it's storing it somewhere. My body knows what's up. And it's causing some really just weird sensations there. My stomach just growled again. Awesome. You probably didn't hear it. I did. It's been doing that all week. I'm eating more stuff too, and it's just, whatever it is just packing things away right now. I'm like a little chipmunk. I'm storing stuff. Just storing. Although they store it in their cheeks, so maybe it's more like a squirrel. It's kind of, I'm packing things away somewhere. Who knows where I'm packing it away, but I'm packing it somewhere. But now I still have all the nerves. This is my 4th time doing an ultra. It's not like this is brand new. I've done one in a bog that's kind of flat, boggy kind of stuff before. I have done 2 others on mountains, though the mountains aren't as big as this one. I've done 2 in Vernon, which had, I believe it was around 11,000 feet of climbing in those. This one's going to be 16. So I have done mountain courses before at length. So it's not like even that is new to me. It's just anytime I do one of these races, I do them so infrequently. Usually the huge ones I do one a year, just kind of give me something to look forward to for the year, and that's that. But I don't know. I'm still just like a little kid in these things. It's like my body feels like I've never done it before, so it gets all kind of giddy and excited. And it's like, no, dude, I've done this. Body, behave. Stop being weird. Thankfully, it hasn't affected the sleep patterns. So I'm still getting the same sleep, although I'm probably going to have my usual Friday night. The race starts early on Saturday morning, and I'm probably going to have my usual I don't sleep at all the night before. I don't think I've ever gotten a single minute of sleep on the night before any of these ultras, and I don't see this one being any exception. Probably also because I have to wake up at like 4 in the morning to make sure I get to the place in time. So trying to go to sleep like hours and hours and hours before I usually go to sleep doesn't usually work very well. My body gets all confused. and just kind of lays there and does nothing, which is great. On one hand, it's a very short night. On the other hand, it's a very long night that leads into it. And you get all these nerves, and all of a sudden you get to the course. It's like, oh, nerves are gone. Now it's just fun. And it's, unless you've done it, it's hard to describe. Just like the range of emotions that go into these things. But it's part of the game, and we go through it. Like I said, I signed up for a race. It gives like 4 or 5 months worth of anticipation, exciting, something to actually get myself ready for. It's something to look forward to in the end. It kind of forces me to stay in shape, to do stuff, to better myself. And all that is really good. It's just this 1 week leading up into it is always just like complete nightmare. And I'm just in the middle of it right now. Well, getting near the end of it, but I'm still just in that phase. So hopefully when we have check-in tomorrow, because we have to pre-register on site. So when I get there and we see the course and I can actually see everything, them putting up all the obstacles and all that, I see the other guys kind of showing up as well, the quote-unquote competitors. It's not, yes, I'm in a competitive bracket. No, I'm not an elite. But I do the age group stuff. However, I'm less treating this as a race. I'm not looking like the guy next to me going, oh, I'm going to beat you. It's more of just, it's a race against yourself. That's all it is. Can I beat the course? Can I do it in a halfway decent kind of time? I believe when I last looked, the medium time to complete this course, I forget if it was overall or just for the competitive bracket, was about 12 and a half hours for the median time. And it's just kind of like, okay, I think I'm usually around kind of that midpoint stuff. If I have a good day, I've definitely been way under that. If I had bad days, I've been below that. It's just, you never know which type of day it's going to be, but that's kind of what I'm looking for. If I can be kind of in that mid group, that would be awesome. I'm not going to aim just to finish. I think a lot of people do this and aim to finish. I want to aim to be better than that, because if I miss, I can use that as a consolation prize, which is still fine. If you aim to finish and miss that, there is no consolation prize. So aim big, win big kind of thing. At least gives you the mental fortitude to kind of get where you want. Okay, so how are we doing? I don't have my compass / calipers out here. Where did they go? There we go. We got them. I want to make sure both arms are kind of the same size. I'm talking about stuff, but not actually talking about anything to do with the model, because I'm not really doing anything huge on the model. So we have, that arm is about there, top to bottom, which is kind of what that one is. Okay, that's good. I'm looking at side to side. We're a little skinny here. Not much, just a hair, so something like that. And this one, yeah, so both side to side, they are both pretty well identical where they come into the shirt. I'm just going to add, I don't know why I'm adding more to the forearm or the upper arm here. It's not really necessary because I'm going to be cutting this back off again after. And actually, front to back should be a little bigger because that tiny muscle called bicep kind of goes that direction. So I should have that kind of working. Okay, a little more on the back here. Yeah, my goal is after this session, I don't know how long I'm going to stay on for this session. The goal is just kind of get this shirt kind of going, so that next time when I start up again, we can start the fun kind of more detail stuff. We can get into that. I've had this thing on the entire time and didn't realize it. Hey, that's kind of where I'm going from. So once I get this part done, then maybe next time I can do like that chest plate and the straps. And then maybe one more time for the knife and or kind of finishing off other little details. And then that will be that. So I have noticed when it comes to getting recognition on YouTube on this stuff or getting on their algorithm to have the videos shown, it really doesn't make a difference whether I have an hour-long video or one of those like 20-minute ones. The first time I put out the 20-minute one, it got a whole lot of showings on there. But the last couple, it's wind up being exactly the same. So from my perspective, I'm not sure it makes a difference whether this is a full-length thing so you see more, or whether I just kind of give you a starting point and say, all right, I'm just going to kind of start the shirt and then go from there. But okay, so if we have that, that's pretty much where the arms are going to be coming down and in. Now, usually we do come up a little bit. We have this muscle kind of comes down and across. Get off my finger. Yeah, kind of from the where the chest kind of comes up and in, it kind of both on male and female, it kind of comes over. So I want to have a little something coming down and in on the side. Doesn't necessarily need much, but it does come in just kind of a little bit down there. So you can see all of a sudden that looks a little more correct. Yeah, also on the front there are no real folds. I might need to do like a little fold or something in the back here, because again, if she's kind of leaning, has that kind of back area, it's going to get scrunched a little bit in the back. So when I started putting this on, I was putting a little bit of, like I said, the cart before the horse. I wasn't necessarily supposed to do that next if I were to kind of follow any kind of good practice on this. But at the same time, I'm thankful if anything I did the front, because the front itself is going to be fine with that. I've been going back and forth whether I did make the chest slightly bigger, only because when the straps go on, that's going to add a little more, another layer to this, and I wanted them sticking out just a little bit beyond the straps that kind of go in the front. But at the same time, he's already kind of large-chested, and I haven't even put the camo on yet, which is going to increase it a little more, so I'm a little worried when I get to that stage. But I guess at the same time, I'm going to deal with it when I get to that stage. I'm not quite there yet, so we'll see. We'll see. Cautiously optimistic. Okay, so this comes, it looks like it kind of comes up, and it is pretty tight. Wow, it's like 3D glasses territory here. Sorry about that. You know what I haven't done yet? Yeah. This is going to be the actual problem. I do need to be able to pull this off for hardening without actually disrupting the detail on that. But yeah, I should probably every now and again just pull that on and off just to make sure it comes on and off nicely. Might be kind of helpful as this goes on. But okay, so that's effectively the arm on that side. I didn't need to cut it as deep as I did, but oh well, I did. This one comes down here. Okay, this arm feels actually pretty easy to do that with. Okay, so we have that cut. We haven't really disturbed too much of that, so that's super cool. If that's officially where it's going now, the last like 20 minutes I spent just doing this, ultimately I'm going to carve that right back off again. But I'm not gonna worry about that yet. Now, let's see, I want to see on this shirt. On this shirt, does this just come up, or does that fold over itself and come back down? Because I'm looking at this and I can see kind of shadow line on there. This version looks like it kind of comes straight up. That shadow line looks like it's the clavicle across here, which I didn't put on. However, if we come back to this one looks like it does kind of go up and fold back over. It looks like a little more of a defined line at the base of this. And let me go pull up. Up. Okay, I think we just answered that. If I pull up, oh, get off. Not that one. Why do I have that one there? This is the one. Let's see, let's make you bigger. Where's the midpoint? Okay, one sec, we're gonna... Okay, so if we look at that, we can see it actually doesn't fold up and over. It is just, the shirt just goes up and that's it. So if I'm looking at this one, or not that one. Everything got moved. What did I do? I dragged something. Okay, so I'm looking at this. It's just kind of a... It's probably a clavicle line I'm looking at on that. So I probably should have a clavicle going on up here. I didn't think I was going to need one for this, but that said, at the same time, if I'm looking at this, it actually comes out. It actually kind of comes out a little bit at the top. You can see it gets really skinny around the neck, then comes up. So it's kind of choker-esque, though not really a choker. With a turtleneck. You're probably not going to be super thick. How's that for length? That's fine for length. I don't need to go longer than that. So if I do you at a 5, you're not going to be sticking up too far. It's going to be really kind of isolated where that's being done. So yes, we're going to focus on... Now I was the second I move the camera. Awesome. So I'm going to go ahead and focus on this neck. So I'm going to focus on this neck, get that kind of right, and then I'll come back to the back, put a couple folds in, and then we'll kind of finish making this look good. So let's see. I really don't need that much because this is not going up super high. I just want enough to be able to blend with afterwards. Okay, and if I'm going to be going up, again, if you can see it on here, there's a square edge on that. So I'm just going to go ahead and get rid of that squareness. So I'm just kind of crimping the edge a little bit right now, just so it doesn't read necessarily as a square. It's going to read thinner than what it is. And this is a tactic that's going to be used many, many times later on down the road in this one. I've done scarves on like the last 3 or 4 models I've done, and this is the first that doesn't have a scarf. So yeah, on things like scarves, like on her poncho or whatnot, that's where this is going to make a big difference. If you have a fabric piece and want it to feel thin, but still make it out of a clay, the clay here is going to get very brittle once it hardens. Again, if you watch the hardening video, you saw what happened to my Celis, my very first model. Yeah, that one was just, I didn't put it in hard enough, so it became brittle over time. But if you have skinny parts as well, even if they are hardened, they will still be brittle and can also kind of crumble over time like that one did. So On fabric areas, we need to make them thicker or thick enough to not have that kind of issue, but at the same time we need them to feel like fabric. So like the top here, effectively what we do is we roll this out. We might do two, we may have several different layers. You might have like 2 or 3 layers on that thing kind of put together to give it a thickness. But then even if you do that, as long as you kind of just crimp the edge, all you're going to see is the edge, and you're not going to realize the fabric is like this. You're going to think the fabric is like that throughout, which I'm not sure why I'm super going into it. It's not like this neck is hugely important on that part, but it is just one of those kind of concerns that comes up. It's just like one of those nice little tricks to have in your back pocket when those areas do present themselves. Okay, so I'm going to blend it down, and I may need to carve into the neck just a little bit, just to kind of give it that whoosh, whoop kind of look, which would be super cool. All right. It took a little while. I'm starting to get back into the flow of this thing, like I said. I sat down to do this like, all right, I got to get something done, but brain is 100% not over here. But we're getting there again. We getting there. Okay, so I just want to carve down just a little bit. Yeah, I still haven't figured out if this is going to be my last kind of obstacle course race, Spartan race, or not. Again, this is a swan song kind of race. It's one of those kind of bucket race kind of ones. It's whenever anybody says, if you need to do one of them, this is always the one that pops up in discussion because, again, it is the hardest Spartan race they offer in the world. It sounds like it's not even close. So it's one of those everybody kind of aspires to try. But at the same time, I know these things, like the shoulder issue I've had before that has popped up in the past. Not every race, but it has popped up in the past. I have kind of done minor kind of tweaks and injuries and stuff to myself. I've never had any major problems. But at the level I try to do it, I tend to put myself in an elevated risk for pulling things or injuring myself and whatnot. And like as I've said, I don't know if on this channel or not, but I know I've said to other people in the past, I don't want to cause long-term issues to fulfill kind of short-term gain type things. So mentally next year, I'm looking at probably going back into like a half marathon type stuff or go back into like the duathlons or something like that. But we'll see. I'm not hard set sold. Usually I say I've said this is my last one of these races 3 other times before, ever since the first one. And I've come back the next year and done another one. So I just usually come November, I kind of get, they had the Black Friday sales. If you're going to get anything, you go for like those Black Friday or pre-Black Friday or whatever it is. You kind of go for those sales when they pop up. And then, yeah, you kind of go from there. Now we can see we do have that look kind of going on. I think I need just a little more off the side. It gives a nice little kind of silhouette. I will still be doing physical activity things. I'm just not sure what it's going to be. This also, if I don't do it again next year, that's not even the first time I've taken a break. I believe it was 2022. I went and 23 I went and took a break and didn't do any OCR stuff, obstacle course race things. So I have taken breaks from it before coming back again. But yeah, the work leading into it, I still don't like the long distance kind of practices. I think the race itself, the event itself is fine. It's fun. Once you get into the spirit, you get all the people around, it's difficult to describe the events themselves and like the series of emotions and just seeing all the people and the funness and all that kind of stuff that goes through. But The long distance practices I wouldn't mind doing without. Anything like past, like I said, half marathon kind of practice is usually even up to that. Usually it's like an hour-long practice. Once you get kind of past that, I'm like, all right, I feel like I can be doing other stuff with my time. Okay, it's gonna have little kind of loopy things, ooh, excuse me, as the lines come up into it. But for that purpose, that should be okay. Now, we didn't do a couple things going on here. Now this view, I don't know if this view helps or not. Where am I on time? 35 minutes, okay. I'm not sure this is necessary or not, but I want the fabric to end somewhere on the arms. So I just kind of, let me move you up here. So when I do these lines, they have someplace to go to. So I'm just going to put a seam kind of that comes around, and that is kind of officially where this is going to end. Oh, get off, get off. But that said, I'm a very seasonal person. I don't train, I don't like go for runs like nonstop throughout the year. I'm very much, I'll have something that lasts like 4 or 5 months, and then I'll take like a month or two off. And then I'll do something that lasts like 4 or 5 months, and then I'll take a month or two off. And I have a lot of fun doing it that way. I enjoy, part of what makes workouts fun for me is just seeing progress. And if you just like never stop, just kind of keep doing the same thing, you kind of lose some of that. So it's kind of, so part of it is fun, just kind of starting from scratch again and then kind of building back each time, so like a little stronger, whatever, than the time before. I'm still in better shape than like any day in my 30s, which is great, or at least mid 30s. I really started taking off, I think, when I was around 39 or something. So I'm in better shape than anything before that. Anything pre-COVID, I'm still very much in better shape. And I still like that feeling. I like knowing that I can just, any given day of the week, if I want to, I can just go out and do a half marathon, even though I don't necessarily like doing the half marathon. I like knowing that I can go out and just do one. Just having that sense of I'm in that kind of shape. So, yeah, no, I'm not done with things completely. I think I just want a hiatus from these types of races, at least as a competitive thing. Is there any friends or family or whatever wants to come out and just like have fun and do one and goof off and just have an afternoon of it? Hey, I will join in with that, no problem. But otherwise, as a solo competitive thing, yeah, that's what I'm referring to. Okay, let's see if we can kind of smooth this out. Oh, this is looking all of the bad right now. Can we pretend to make you smooth? That would be great. Yeah, I'm not too worried on the back. The hair does, although the hair is tied up in this end, it will come through the hat, I believe, on the back side. If you look at this, yeah, you can see on the side the hair is coming down the back. The hair is going to cover a lot of this back area. And actually, no, I'll be able to take that off. The head will be separate from the poncho, so I will be able to have her with hair without the poncho, without the camo on here. So yes, this can be complete and visible without the camouflage stuff. It's just, yeah, this particular part will very likely be covered with the hair. But still, we want to kind of make things look good as we go. So we have a little bit there, so that's good. Now, in addition to that, there's more than just that, because I 100% didn't do the zipper that kind of comes down the front. So let me slide over my image, which is a little bit bigger than the one you're looking at, just so I can get an idea of what we're doing. I'm looking at the exact same one you are on the side now. It's just slightly bigger so I can see it a little better. Unless I get something done soon, I'm fearing making the thumbnail for this one, because it's gonna be the exact same thumbnail for this as it was for the previous one. Would be nice to show that I've gotten somewhere. Okay, so the zipper actually comes down a decent way. And it's also a little higher than my camera was aiming at. Okay, so we're going to start something like up there. And we're going to come down and something like that. Oh, come on. Oh, that's it. I haven't even finished packing officially for this race. Although I feel like I bring a whole lot of things, but at the same time, the race itself is only what I can carry. So, yes, I have 6 bottles of Propel water I'm going to be having with me throughout the race. I'm going to have another 2 bottles of Powerade, plus another one in my transition bucket I have going through. I have not much. I'm going to bring trail mix this time because it's a lot of what I've been kind of using as fuel, so I'll have that for a transition period, but I'm not sure I'm going to go through that. It's probably largely going to be a liquid diet throughout much of the race. They have more water stations than I'm used to, which is awesome. That's going to be fantastic. What does this zipper look like? Oh, I'm trying to think. Honey stingers, those are the things. I have the honey stinger chews I'm using for the kind of any additional glucose needs that I might desire for this, which I'm definitely going to be desiring that throughout the course of the race, at least as the race goes on. So I'm largely going to be running on those things, not so much solid food, but it's just, you look at it, it's like, wow, this is a huge amount of stuff that I'm kind of going through. And then you realize, well, I need to carry it all with me, but yeah, no, on each lap I'm going to have 67 ounces worth of fluid on me. So figure that's a little over 4 pounds of beverage to start each lap with. And that seems about right. Plus whatever they offer on the course itself. So how's that? Gives a little, except you actually have a little design to you. So I like the size. I like the size of that thing you can almost see on camera. So we're going to stick with kind of that. Yeah, in addition to that, I'm going to be wearing a pair of gloves throughout. I'm going to have an extra pair of gloves on me at the time, or at all times. So if I go through water obstacle or whatnot, I can swap out to a dry set. What else am I going to have on me? In addition to that, I have extra things of safety pins, extra thing of electrical tape in case things go. Those are kind of in case things go wrong. They take up almost no space whatsoever, but they're just nice to have. I'm probably going to throw a windbreaker in the back of my hydration vest as well. Because my hydration vest has 2 pouches in front. I'm going to have 2 propels in each of those, and I have a waste flask as well. That's going to have a thing of Powerade. But I'm probably going to have in the back pouch of the vest is going to be
a third propel thing in case I run out or in case something seriously goes wrong. I never want to be short hydration. So I'll take the little extra weight that is just to know that my hydration is going to work well for what I'm doing. Because that's been issues in the past. I'll probably throw a windbreaker in there. It's supposed to be like kind of mid 40s at the start of the race, but then it goes into the 70s as the day goes on. Plus, I'm on top of a mountain, so that's going to affect some things. So I need some way to be able to take things on and off, and kind of just to adjust for weather variations, because it's going to happen. Last time, the last race I did not account for the weather correctly. A cold front came in halfway through my second lap, and then it started raining, and I had no way to prepare for that. I had already shifted out into just a t-shirt and kind of light stuff on the second lap, and I got myself into big kind of trouble, and don't feel like doing that again. So we're gonna have a couple layers that I can take on and off as need be, and we can prepare for kind of mountain conditions that way. Okay, it looks like the image I'm seeing here does want to have kind of clavicle things going on, so we can add a little bit of clavicle things going on. Yeah, some of this stuff I should have done in the previous session, but we're getting it in now, so it'll be fine. It's easy enough to re-bring this thing kind of back. I sure hope you weren't ready for just modeling talk. I hope you were open to alternative discussions going on today, because again, from your point of view, none of this matters because the race is already done, because it's being posted after the race is finished. It's just in my time frame, it hasn't happened yet. So this is all my brain has been going off of now for the last all of today, and bits and pieces of the not too distant past. It just feels nice to have a little outlet to express it in, that's all. Okay, we need to actually blend you a little nicer. I feel like none of this is blended well, although once we add the striations, that's also going to kind of help blend this whole thing in a little nicer. And part of why it looks weird is because this doesn't have striations and everything else does. So, and also one is slightly bigger than the other. Okay, so if that's kind of in there, we can now kind of bring the striation up and in, up and in. Okay, so that kind of brings that in a little bit. It's not adding much to it, but it is adding a little something, which is good. Now, where are we on the back? We're at almost 50 minutes. Okay. So let's see what we need to do on the back. Also, I didn't drill these holes perfectly on here, I can tell, because she's definitely, whoop, I need you a little more upright at some point. Might be good. Kind of stick you on top of something like this, so at least reads slightly better. Now on the back, I take you off. it's showing, you can see the line in the back there. And I find it interesting, it's not showing any kind of folds here, but because the shirt is coming in and out, there should be something going on back here. So I'm going to add, granted this isn't her pose in the end, so that could be part of it, but I do want to add a little something. That's a little much. I don't need to go all the way to the back. I can do one that kind of goes there. And then one that kind of comes back. And it's just kind of a matter of merge those in, and already that kind of looks like it feels more correct. Didn't have to do much, but at least it feels a little better. Alright, let's get you out of the way. I can... Oh, there we go. I can just hold the sides. Haven't done anything to the sides yet. We can hold that. Oh, now we get dead air again. It's like I ran out of stuff to talk about. But that's fine. I didn't really come in with a game plan on what to talk about other than race things, and we kind of covered that. I am curious to see what the DNF rate is going to be on this course. Because I know Spartan doesn't publish their DNFs, their did not finish numbers. But through hearsay, I've seen that this is generally something above 50% DNF rate on this course. Meaning, if you look to the left of you, look to the right of you, one of the people you're looking at, or if you're on the starting line, look at the person to your left, look at the person on your right. Statistically, one of them is not going to finish. I believe that's kind of the boat this is in, but I would be curious to know what the actual number is. So we'll see if I can get myself access to that. Based off the fact they do live track the race, so as long as somebody who's watching kind of when the race starts can identify how many people, I don't know, started the race, then I should be able to get that info quite nicely. We will see. Again, that's not necessary, that's more just a me being curious kind of deal. Again, I'm super kind of science-minded person, so I like just kind of knowing numbers and whatnot sometimes. It just satiates a certain desire and need. Okay, it's one of those where in real life you'll probably have multiple folds, but just doing something like that helps out a little bit. It doesn't need, like I said, it doesn't need super much. Let's actually keep the folds a little closer together. And then after that, we're just kind of back to adding the striations. And if I don't get that done by the time like the hour part's done, I can finish that. I can do that off camera. That's not a problem. And we're at the point where next time I can definitely do like the chest guard and start getting some of these straps that go around. So the nice thing is from here on out, pretty much everything is going to go faster than these legs did in terms of from start of an element to end of an element. They still may take several hours to do any individual thing, but those took like much, much longer than anything else will. what I should do though is actually smooth this off. It doesn't feel like it's ever been smoothed. Still not sure what I'm going to do after the shirt is done. I could do the one arm, the left arm over here. The right arm, I kind of want to have the rifle done before the right arms. I just kind of put it in so then I know the hand is kind of gripping the right way and doing things correctly. So I kind of want the rifle before doing this arm, but this arm is 100%. There's no reason not to do that one. You're facing the other direction. Now, after I do these striations, then I will touch up this bottom, because right now the bottom looks like kind of a little bit of disaster. So all that's going to be is just kind of bring it in, bring it in, kind of bring it in, bring it in. That's kind of all we're going to be doing on that. And we're going to do that for every single striation. And it will bring it together in the end. You can already see that looks a lot more finished just doing that. And now the nice part is these lines just go straight. They hit here and they don't go around or do anything. They just hit the edge and stop. So that part is actually going to be kind of okay. So if things do go around, that's nice. However, the arm is now in the way and I can't move it because it's kind of there. We can just go straight down. Okay. Although with these striations I have less stuff I can hold on to, which is not as cool. Get in there, get in there. Is that? That is, and you kind of went. So that came up. And then we can just do one more that comes up there. Okay, back is getting stuff, so that's good. Let's put the final seam in the back, because again, that's going to be less visible in the end. Hey, there we go. I can steady with 3 points. 1, 2, 3 points of contact, so it's steady. It's not going anywhere. And let's just make some lines. That goes up. That goes in. And that goes up. Okay. we have a shirt. And one thing I was liking before when I was looking at this was after the last session ended was I was just with what we had, I'm like, I can look at it and it looks like Kai. At least we're in that boat where I can just look at this and it looks like Kai. So all I need to do now is, like I did last time, off camera, we're at the hour mark, so off camera I'll kind of retouch up these lines. I put them in, I can make them the wider. I can go wherever I stuck my kind of texturing tool. I can go add a little bit of texture to this again. And this part will be done by next time. So that at the start of next time, we can come back over to you. And like I said, we're gonna do that chest guard, and we're gonna start. Really, all that's left then is the chest guard, the strap that comes around the side up and over to kind of hold it on, and the knife you can see kind of under her arm there needs to get put in. There's on the image on here, there's a close-up of the knife itself, so it is a good visual of it. I need to open the larger version of that picture to find it. But otherwise, then, yeah, that's all that's left on this shirt portion. We can then cut the arms off one more time. I can kind of pull them off. I can make a receiver on the two sides here as well, so when the arms go in, they go in where I want them to. And then after that, yeah, we'll start on something else. But next time we're going to further detail out this upper body, and it's going to be good. And I'm going to be happy about that. And it's really going to start feeling like Kai. I mean, we're starting to look like Kai. We're definitely starting to look there. We are getting that look. I do feel having this in there was nicer than not having that. It added something to make it feel like it's actually fabric. But no, fixed a number of problems, got this in. Next time, actual detailing stuff the whole way through and not spending half the time building up arms you're going to be cutting off anyway. So until then, and like I said, I'm not sure which day it's going out. Hopefully I'll have one out for Thursday. We'll see how I feel when I get back from the race. I'm taking Monday off of work, so I would like to do one on there, but I'm not going to give a guarantee I'm going to be in a mental or physical state to want to do something like this. So bear with it. I'm going to try to get one out, but bear with. At worst case, the next one will come out the following weekend, and then after that, we should be golden, because both that and because both the fitness stuff and the game will have run their course by that point in time. So just bear with it next week, and yeah, we'll be good. And until then, enjoy.